I see you have SMS and print bill as well.
Exactly.
So you can send it via text and you can get the paper as well.
Yeah.
So if I,
okay. Go ahead.
Print bill. Okay. That's it.
That's it.
So the person doesn't have to wait for 30 days.
No.
This is like on the go.
Yeah. And if you are fast with your fingers, we can do it in 1 minute.
Hello and welcome to yet another exciting edition of BizTech on GhanaWeb TV with me, Moans Cuddles. On this episode, we'll be learning more about on-site billing, which is an innovation that the electricity company of Ghana is seeking to adopt. And I have here with me the engineering manager for Polymorphs Labs Limited. His name is Michael Soli, and he's going to be telling us all about on-site billing. Michael, welcome to the show. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Good to see you. How's everything?
We can't complain. There's a lot of pressure, but we are managing.
Yeah, so now let's come to today's topic, which is on-site billing. For one, I have no idea what on-site billing is, so just briefly explain to us.
Okay, I think the best way to put the picture across is to have an understanding of how service providers bill their customers for services they have rendered to them. So spot billing, or as you call it, instant billing, is applicable to any instance where there's a service being rendered to customers and you want to bill the customers on the spot, basically providing them an invoice for the service you have rendered, and that would be the basis for which they will make payments. So then when you take utility companies generally, there are two business models. There's what we call postpaid model and then the prepaid model. So with the postpaid model, you utilize the service before you pay. But with the prepaid model, you pay before you utilize the service. Now with the postpaid model, once you're utilizing the service before you pay, there needs to be some sort of instrument that measures how much of the utility you have used, which we call a meter. So every postpaid customer will have a postpaid meter that will be recording in terms of kilowatt hours. So when you talk about electricity, the unit of measure of the power consumed is in kilowatt hour.
Yeah.
So the meter, which is installed at the premise of the customer, is able to capture the readings. And we are able to tell the customer's consumption by subtracting the previous reading from the current reading, and it will have like date differences. So for example, if the last reading that happened at your premise was on the 20th of September, and then the new reading happened on the 20th of October, there's a date difference of about 30 days. 30 days. So if we know the final reading and we know the initial reading, which was a month ago, we do the subtraction, we are able to tell how many kilowatt hours you used within that period, right? And we call that a consumption. Now, what happens with most traditional utility companies that do postpaid billing is that after they read the meter, they have meter readers who go around, especially for meters that are not smart, to be able to automatically send the readings across. When the meter reader captures the readings, it has to be sent to a central system.
Okay.
So let's say I'm a meter reader, I come to your house, I pick your readings, I send it to a central system. Now we go ahead and take the readings of every single postpaid customer, feed it into the system. Now the system has to be scheduled to generate the bills, i.e. do the subtractions, do the computation, get your kilowatt hour consumption within the period.
That's for like 30 days or?
Yeah, 30 days sometimes, whichever period exactly. Okay. But Ghana adopts the 30-day cycle, 1 month cycle. So what happens is that the consumption you've had over the period, then there are regulators that actually give these utility companies the tariffs that they should use in billing these customers. So then you do the computation and then the bill is generated and it has to be distributed back to these customers. So what you find in many utility companies, ECG inclusive, was the fact that if your meter is read today, the least amount of time it will take for you to receive a bill is 30 days. That's the next month. So assuming your meter is read in October, you will be getting your October bill earliest November. Earliest.
Okay.
Sometimes it ranges up to like 3 months before you get your bill. And I'm sure you probably have experienced that before. So let's just say that once you understand the problem, you also understand the implications. And thankfully, I have a little background in math.
Okay.
So, and I did a little finance as well. So then you understand time value of money.
Yeah.
If you're my customer, I have rendered a certain service to you. I've picked the reading for October, and I'm now bringing you your bill in November. I have already lost 1 month time value of money.
Yeah.
Because if I'm supposed to have been billing you 500 cedis,
yeah.
exactly. If you had invested at 500 cedis, you would have made some interest. So when you look at the time value of money, and it takes ECG, let's say 3 months to get you your bill, it is no fault of yours that you receive the bill 3 months after the meter has been read. So the value of the money will not be the same, because if they had taken, let's say, the 500 cedis at the time that the bill was actually generated, you would have made more money in terms of the time value of money than you would have 3 months after. I hope that made sense. So basically, when you look at the time value of money, there's revenue loss over there. So take it from a very simplistic point of view. If you are to invest, right, an amount of money, let's say 1,000 cedis, at the risk-free rate, treasury bill rate, you would have made 30% per annum. Yeah. Right? So then 3 to 4 months, okay, let's say 3 months, right? That's 1/4.
1/4, yeah.
Yes. So if you take 1/4 of the 30%, that's 15 divided by 2, 7.5. So that means that you would have lost 7.5% of your revenue just by delaying in giving bills to the customer. So then the question we asked ourselves was, what prevents us from giving the customer the bill instantly?
In real time.
In real time. What prevents us from doing that? And the only factor was computational power. What I mean by that is you have the manpower or the resources to go to the field and pick the readings. But you write it on paper, you bring it back and put it in a system and wait for the system to crunch a lot of readings from millions of customers, which is obviously going to take a lot of time, and you need computational resources.
The bills quite late.
Quite late, yes.
And that causes a lot of friction as well.
Good. Now, if you look at the problem in the reverse, you realize that when it comes to the final reading, you have it. Tariffs from PURC, so for Ghana is the PURC that is responsible for the regulator, exactly. Tariff is also available. Meaning that you as a customer, even by just reading your meter, you should be able to calculate your own bill. Excel calculator, you can just take your phone and do your computation. Meaning that the only thing stopping us from giving you an instant bill is having computational power on the field, instead of going back to the office and inputting it in the system. Now, thankfully, technology has far advanced, and all the computational power you can have in a computer system, you can actually have on your phone or a handheld device that has the ability to store enough information and do the computation.
So basically, Mike, this seeks to sort of address like a revenue problem, right? Yeah. And then also address the situation where people don't have to wait for a longer period. Yeah. So I'm sure you've been working on this innovation for some time now. How long has it taken you to develop this?
So the spot billing is just one component of a larger utility management system. So if I'm to take the spot billing in isolation, I should say maybe 8 months, to a year. But the larger utility system that has several other components, say about 4 years.
And so I know this is quite new. And how effective is this on-site billing innovation that's coming out?
Oh, very, 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 very effective. So like I gave you an example. If it was even a class test and you have 10 people and they all know how to calculate their bills, right? Once you give them, like what we do in exam, you'll be given a previous reading, current reading, the date associated with the previous and the current, you'll be given PURC tariffs and then calculate the bill. You're a residential customer, this is the tariff. You're a non-residential customer, this is the tariff. You should be able to calculate it. So basically giving that ability to a handheld device, even like your phone, or a more custom device where the computations can be done on the spot. So basically all we are doing is that we are taking that computation that you would have done elsewhere
to your doorstep.
And it's just by means of a device.
So I just wanted to find out, did you by chance have to, I know you are using a lot of data and all of that, did you by chance use some AI machine learning to build this?
Yes, so it has some AI components in it. I wouldn't want to go too deep into that, but like basic machine learning, linear regression, we are able to tell your consumption pattern. So there are a few things that we do with the spot billing, and well, let me just add this to it. So we don't generate the bill for every single person whose meter we read for certain reasons. So since you mentioned the AI bit of it, I'll just use that as an opportunity to explain how that bit works. So what happens is that month on month you use electricity. That means that we can tell your consumption patterns. Your readings are increasing, but your consumption is going to be almost the same across a period. So for example, if you install the meter today, the reading was 0 kilowatt hour. 1 month later, it is 100. The next month, it is 200. When you do a difference between 0 and 100 is 100. Difference between 100 and 200 is 100. So although the meter reading is increasing, your consumption per month is almost the same. Sometimes it can reduce to 98, maybe it can increase to 105, and so on and so forth, right? So that means that once we have historicals, we can use that as the basis for building the machine learning model that knows your consumption pattern. Now, once we have that consumption pattern, anytime we pick your reading, we have to check it against that pattern to see if it actually matches your behavior. Because if it doesn't, there could be instances where you are not even at home for 2 months, for which reason your consumption has dropped. Or maybe you have some electrical problem that has made your consumption go extremely high outside the bounds of your pattern. So what happens is that once we do the computation of your consumption and realize that it falls beyond the bounds of your behavior based on the model that we have built, we throw it into what we call exception, which will allow extra verification, maybe come and check the meter, make sure everything is fine, or find out the reason for which your consumption is not what we think it should be based on your historicals. And machine learning is basically based on how much data you have and how accurate the data is, because we build the models from these data sets. So,
Mike, I've been having a very interesting conversation where we'll come back and then we'll look into some of the algorithms you have here. I see a lot of things behind me, so we'll be right back. I was speaking with Mike Sully, and he's the engineering manager for Polymorph Labs, and we've been learning about on-site billing, which is an innovation that the ECG is seeking to adopt. We'll be right back after this break.
Luck is everywhere, for everyone, yeah. Luckiest stars, everyone to us.
How to play and win online. Step 1. Go to the URL or website www.theluckiestafrica.com. Step 2. Click on Ready to Play and register. Step 3. Fill out your valid details to register. Step 4. Enter and confirm the OTP sent to your email. Step 5. Purchase your ticket or generate a random ticket. Step 6. Enter the ticket amount you want to buy. Step 7. Follow the steps to buy tickets for yourself or someone. Step 8. Confirm your ticket and choose your payment option. Step 9. Follow the steps to make payment. Step 10. Verify your phone number. I am Mr. Good Luck, and I'm on a mission to spread luck all around.
Nurse, papa, driver, bouncer, friends, teacher, banker. Star 712 hash. You could be the luckiest.
Welcome back from our break on BizTech. I still have here with me Michael Solly, and he's the engineering manager for Polymos Labs, and they are the innovators for the ECG on-site billing device. Michael, Charlie, I've been having a very interesting conversation. I've learned a lot about on-site billing, and now I want us to just briefly, before we go to have a preview of the device, you've been working on this for some time now, and
Yes.
what are the data and security measures that you've deployed for this system to ensure that consumers are protected, and that of also ECG as well?
Yes, so we followed strict compliance when it comes to security, and then information exchange is also encrypted. So yeah, basically we've complied with the security standards to make sure that everything is under control. Yeah.
All right, so now let's get into the app, the device proper. I see some machines and things here. So you built all this yourself?
Yes, so what we did was to get a custom device. So even if you look at the device, you can see that it's labeled Polymos Labs, SAP's handheld device. So it's custom built for this particular exercise. And we have the app running on the device.
Okay.
So I think we can just
we can
take a quick look.
Take a quick look at it. Okay. So it has, I see it has a very interactive screen too as well.
Yes, very interactive, and it has a lot of display area so that you'll be able to do a lot. So it does more than just spot billing. So what you do is that once you go to the spot billing, I've logged in as a meter reader for a particular district. It's just a test environment.
Okay.
So we can take a look at how it works. So as a meter reader, usually the districts you work with will be demarcated into something we call plots. So the plots will be assigned to you as a meter reader, and you'll be able to see the number of customers within that plot, and then whether it's in progress, whether you've not started, whether it's completed, and so on and so forth.
So it gives you like a progress report
Yes.
as well. So if you've not visited a particular place, it gives you,
And then the officers at the district office will also know how much work you have done for the day and everything. So it gives you
so it's a whole monitoring platform as well.
It's an end-to-end utility system. Like I mentioned, the spot billing is just one part of it. So it falls into readings and billing as one module, and spot billing is just a small part of it.
Okay.
So when I select this, I see the list of customers that are pending reading, and then their tariff classes. So all these are residential customers. If I go here, I'll see the list of completed. That means I've read the meter for these people already. If I happen to be in a neighborhood and I don't find that customer in my list, I can actually capture them as uncaptured. For instance, somebody is probably an illegal customer who is not in ECG's database. The system allows you to capture it.
So not only does it read, but it's able to make sure that everyone is in the operational line that ECG distributes its power.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
So then let's go with Emmanuel Kofi.
Okay.
So you see that the first thing it does when you select Emmanuel Kofi is it triggers the camera for you to take a picture of the reading. So let's just use this as an example.
Okay.
So we capture. If you don't like the picture because it's blurred, it's not good enough, you can cancel, and then you can take another one.
Interesting.
Then if you like it, you go ahead and choose it. Then it brings Emmanuel Kofi's data, meter number, everything, contracted power, and the previous reading for Emmanuel. And Emmanuel was last read on Tuesday, 7th March 2023.
So Emmanuel can hide.
Yes, Emmanuel can hide. Then you capture the reading. So previously, since it's a test, I mean, you will see the reading on the meter and you also see it on the screen. But for verification, you enter the reading. So this is 43156, right?
Yeah.
So let me do something like 44000.
Okay.
So this is what I was trying to explain to you the other time.
New reading.
44000.
Okay.
Right, and another 44000. This is like reading and confirm reading just to make sure that you're not making mistakes. Then I click on continue. Now see what happens. It throws me into an exception.
So it's giving me customer details, meter number, tariff class, previous reading, current reading, consumption.
It's 844.
variance.
Good.
Okay.
Meaning that the minimum kilowatt hour we expected you to use from that 7th January till today, the minimum is what?
231.
And then the
kWh,
maximum
769.
meaning that what you have consumed is above what we expected you to consume within that period, looking at your historical. Meaning that we'll throw this into exception for somebody else who is a superior to come and verify.
So if you're using more than you should.
Yes. So this is an example. So I'm just going to go back and going to enter something that will bring the consumption less so that we can generate the bill. So with something like this, it's not going to generate the bill for you. It's rather going to generate an investigation.
Because you're doing more
than
the cap.
what we are expecting you to do based on the model that has been used. So I'll just go back and then we'll do 4.3, let's say 500.
Okay.
Right?
Let's do that.
So let's do 4.3, 500.
4.3, 500. Then 4.3, 500 again.
Yes.
To confirm it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So once we do 4.3, 500, it says, okay, this one seems...
It's legit.
It's between,
it's fine.
the model has given us your thresholds and you're within that threshold. So once everything is fine with you, just click on submit readings. If everything is correct, it'll tell you meter reading successful.
Okay.
Once you close, it generates the bill.
That's all. So you can, you have SMS and print bill as well.
Exactly.
So you can send it via text and you can get the paper as well.
Yeah.
So if I,
okay. Go ahead.
Print bill. Okay. That's it.
That's it.
So the person doesn't have to wait for 30 days.
No.
This is like on the go.
Yeah. And if you are fast with your fingers, we can do it in 1 minute.
So basically, you would also be cutting down on the time that for postpaid and prepaid, they would have to. Does this only apply to only postpaid or just prepaid?
So currently, it's applicable to postpaid, but you can actually use it for reconciliation on prepaid. Okay. So prepaid meters also have readings. So we can come and pick your readings, calculate the bill, and then use it to match the purchases you have made.
Okay. All the purchases that you made.
Exactly. So let's say this month you have bought credit, 200 cedis, 200 cedis, right? And you were able to use power the whole month. Then I come to pick your readings, and then I realize there's 1,000 kilowatt hour within that period, which is equivalent to, let's say, 4,000 cedis. Meaning that you have most likely bypassed. Some of your equipment are not passing through the meter or something of the sort. So there's something illegal connection somewhere.
Interesting.
So that means that we're going to extend the spot billing to prepaid customers as well.
So just quickly, I know you developed this, but for those who will be on the ground, which are the ECG officers, should they find some weird disparity, can they like arrest the person on the spot, or they will have to?
So once it is reported, the system picks it up, and a new team will be dispatched who are well resourced. They have the equipment to come and check your meter for illegality, and then if that is the case, there's a procedure that you.
There's also the evidence to as well.
Yes.
As to what was found on the ground.
Exactly.
Okay, well, interesting. So Michael, we're wrapping up. So you've been doing this for, you said, it's about 4 years now.
Yes.
This is just one component.
This is one component. So this component is around 8 months.
Okay.
Yeah, but the enterprise utility management system in general, which has several components, over 13 different components, for managing the commercial aspect of things, the technical aspect of things, the stores or inventory, meter management. It has so many different components that all work together. So yeah, that has been about 4 years in the making.
So 4 years in the making. When I came here, I saw a lot of young guys that you're working with and all of that. Just finally, what do you make of Ghana's tech scene? Because you've been in it for a number of years now. I know you teach as well too. And do you think the prospects are good for young people venturing into tech?
I think the prospects are very good. I think we have fantastic talent, but we need to train them a little more and a little better, because writing code is not the ultimate. I mean, it forms about a maximum of 20% of what you need to do. The solution engineering, you need to understand how the solution is going to work, the architecture, the product design, you know, so many things go into it. And even business, how to, you know, position your product for revenue. Because you can build a nice solution that doesn't solve any problem, or even if it solves a problem, people are not willing to pay for that solution. So I think that once we focus, right, and then have very strong tech hubs that are focused on actually delivering on products, as opposed to a lot of PR and, you know, a lot of noise making, everybody feels that they are better than the other, unhealthy competition. I think if we synergize, you know, we have people coming together, putting the resources together, what we can do is over and above what anybody imagines that Ghanaians can do. And I think that opportunity is also really crucial, because once you experience something, I mean, you can build a solution that works for 100 people, a few 100,000, but that same solution might not be able to scale for 10 million customers. You need a different way of thinking about the problem.
To expand it.
And if you don't have that experience, because how many entities can you work for or build for that have that customer base? It could even be a B2C solution, but then at the end of the day, you need some experience when it comes to scaling. And I think that once we collaborate and we also get the opportunity, we are able to do over and beyond what is expected. So I think that opportunity is key. And then as software engineers, product designers, or, you know, actors in the tech space, we should be aiming for the best, you know, because like I mentioned previously, the potential is there, and we just have to take the bull by the horn. And don't go for the easy stuff. Go for the hard stuff.
Go for the hard stuff.
Yeah, and then, yeah, people like the easy way out. People like the easy way out. Go for the hard stuff. Make sure that your understanding of the principles and the fundamentals are solid. Because if you don't have a solid foundation, if you don't understand the principles, the architecture of whatever you're working with or on, it's very, very, very difficult for you to be a master of the trade. Because everything you see that has been built is based off on like very, very solid foundation. And they are basic principles. So even if you can do it yourself, I think as part of your team, you should have someone who is seasoned when it comes to understanding the fundamentals of computing. So, yeah.
Michael, thank you so much. I've learned a lot
too.
from you, and it's been a very interesting conversation, and also to learn about this device which is yet to be out there. Thank you so much. I've been speaking with Michael Sully, and he's the engineering manager for Polymorph Labs, and we'll be learning about on-site billing and also about the device that the ECG is set to roll out in a few weeks or months to come. He's been my guest on this week's edition of BizTech. Before we go, don't forget to log on to our website, www.GhanaWeb.com. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at the GhanaWeb, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel, GhanaWeb TV. I am Mauli Aholmega. Please do stay for Biz Headlines.